on Wheel Nuts Podcast. This is the Purple Sector. What we do in the Purple Sector is we talk about a single topic that's hot and relevant to Formula One right now. Today, we'll be talking about Max Verstappen. And I know everyone has their opinions of what's going on with Max Verstappen right now. Obviously, he's had a lot of incidents lately. This year,
you called it too later.
He might have a few later on this season, but every race this year we've had, we've completed the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He's had an incident, very significant incident, in each one of those races. What do you think that Max has to change his driving style in order to take the next step and be successful, be a potential world champion in the future? Does he need to change that driving style?
I don't think anybody could just change their driving style. He just has to be more conscious of how he's driving. I mean, his aggressiveness is what's gotten him this far in his career this fast. So no, I don't think he needs to change his driving style. I just think he needs to be more self-conscious.
So, I have a slightly differing view. So, Max at Red Bull kind of reminds you of Vettel at Red Bull, and they talked about that some time ago. But the only problem with Vettel is that he didn't continue to make the same mistakes over and over. You know, he would make a mistake. He had mistakes. He made mistakes, and he learned from them and moved on. Max is just not learning, and he's got a lot of people defending him. And I think Red Bull's culture kind of enables Max to continue to do what he's doing right now. But there's got to be some onus on Red Bull to try to fix that problem. Like we saw in the Baku Grand Prix, they came together. Max and Ricciardo came together untouched, right? At that point, I think Red Bull needed to do something, and they didn't. So there's definitely onus on Red Bull Racing to fix that, as well as Max to try to change his approach a little bit too.
One of Max's signature things, Robert, is his ability to move under braking and block people. Is that something that you're going to see Red Bull or Formula One start clamping down on in the future and saying, the FIA clamping down on and say you can't do that anymore?
Well, it's taken them long enough. They should have done it already with Max. He's done this so many times to so many drivers that I can remember. I know he's done it to Lewis, he's done it to Vettel, now Ricciardo, and the long list continues. So I think Max needs to take a break. I honestly do.
How long of a break?
A couple races. Maybe it's too harsh, but no, I think he really needs to look at it. And the other thing about Max, I know when you're driving, you're supposed to drive to win. I don't think he ever thinks about the team results. He's always thinking selfishly. It's me, it's my win, and that's it. He never thinks about the team results. And I think, Mark touched on it, until Red Bull addresses that with him, sometimes it's not just about him. Sometimes he just has to think about the team results. I think that's what they need to touch with him.
So here's the other thing. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Schumacher, when he was coming up, he was playing. A lot of people claim that he crashed a lot. Vettel crashed a lot. Lewis Hamilton, he had his few misjudgments here and there. Mm-hmm. Is this Max Verstappen's learning that he's going through? Are we witnessing a much larger scale of learning that we've seen on the greats, on the future greats of the sport?
No, but he's not changing anything. He's not. I don't know. You want to take this, Mark? He's not. There's nothing that's changing. He's doing the same stuff over and over and over and over.
Yeah, my belief is that you can make mistakes. We're all allowed to make mistakes. And as a racing driver, they're making decisions and movements within split seconds, right? So they're allowed to make mistakes. I don't think that mistakes shouldn't be made in Formula One. However, when you continue to make the same mistakes over and over,
right?
When you keep running into people over and over, when you keep clocking walls over and over, then you should dial it back and think about it for a second to see if your approach is correct. Now, aggressiveness, like you mentioned, Nick, got him here, and that's great. Aggressive drivers are great. Makes for exciting races. Does not make for great finishes, though. So, and he hasn't been finishing.
So you guys really don't like Pastor Maldonado 2.0? I'm enjoying it.
No,
No, no.
every time I see Max come up on somebody, I know it'll be special.
Listen, I love Max. I love Max.
No, you don't. You just wanted to ban him for
I love
a
him. I
couple
think
of races.
he's very talented, but he has to calm down. And I don't know who's going to take to get a message across to him. Apparently, he's not getting it from his dad, but.
So the last driver that got a message like that was Grosjean, and he got it loud and clear when he got a one race ban. So maybe a one race ban is what you're suggesting, Robert, or you want multiple races?
No, let's give him a one race ban and see what it is. Let him take a look back and see what it is.
You know what's funny though? We haven't heard about points on their license. How much like?
The thing is, a lot of times they consider racing incidents, and it's rightfully so. You're racing, and certain things.
The problem is that in Baku's race, he moved under braking twice.
I agree. I completely agree. And I
He's
think
done that
that's
so many times
unacceptable.
before.
And no one's calling him out on it.
Right.
So
He's
I
done
think
that
the
so many
FIA
times
needs to
before.
step in and just say, hey, you've done this a couple of times. We've given you enough passes.
Well, wasn't that widely discussed with the FIA, and they came back saying that it was allowed to some extent? They didn't clarify exactly what it was, but what he was doing was not illegal, so they let him continue to do it. Now, when you move once, like he did in Baku, he moved out to the outside. That's defending your position.
but
and
then-
I think that's perfectly fine. But
Yep.
when you decide to jump in front of the car after they've made the second move, that's blocking. I don't think in racing you're allowed to just blatantly block. In any form of racing, if
I
you're
don't
just
agree.
blatantly blocking-
I don't agree with the result of the penalties that they handed out or the blame that the FIA said, because they blamed it 50-50 on each driver.
No, I
Mac,
personally
they
don't
said
agree with that.
they said
don't.
Ricardo braked too late.
I agree.
But that's his signature
That's his
thing.
thing.
He brakes late, and plus he had nowhere to go. He was already next to a wall.
It's one thing when you're driving and you've got your braking distance set up and you can brake into a certain place, but then you throw a car right in front of you. I mean, what do you do then?
Well, that car in front of you is going to take all the downforce off your front wing and cause locking immediately. From the time that car crosses your front wing, he's taking all the downforce off of it.
But I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever been on a racetrack and know your braking zones and actually know what it is to stop a car from that speed or any kind of speed. You have no other option. You're gonna hit something or you're gonna spin out.
Yeah.
So
So the other thing I had to bring up with Max Verstappen is, do you think if he continues this way, could he piece a season together, or is the onus now on Red Bull to say, hey, you are not performing up to our standards. This is what you need to do. These are the steps we think you need to take. Dial it down. Give me 95% instead of your 120%.
oh, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah.
I agree with
Is
that.
it the onus on the team?
yeah.
Is it the onus on the
I-
FIA?
with
Is it
him-
the onus on other drivers? Who
See,
is
the
onus
positive I see out of this is that he drives for Red Bull. Red Bull sponsors many other sports. They do a demolition derby. They could switch him over to that.
I think the initial onus is on Red Bull Racing to jump in and say, hey, these are the things that we don't want, and this is what we expect from you going forward. If he crosses that line continuously, then Red Bull needs to keep him or hold him accountable. But if they don't intend to do it and he continues to do these things, then the FIA needs to step in and clarify a few things for Red Bull Racing and for Max Verstappen, because if you continue to make it acceptable what he's doing, then he's just going to continue to do it, right? And maybe he'll even push the envelope a little bit more every time.
Which they've done so far.
I don't know. I think next time we need to. Next time we have a driver talk about like what we're doing here with Max, we need to get an expert on it. I think our resident expert Josh isn't around right now, but him being the biggest Red Bull fan that we know,
Yeah.
aside from my son.
It's really I see all his mistakes, but I personally feel that this is his learning curve. Maybe I'm a little bit too lenient, but I like his aggressive driving style. He's really good in the rain when he's given a chance, and it might just be his learning curve that we're seeing right now. But what he's going through, 4 races in, every single race, major incidents that are causing the team to lose points in every situation, and he's been very scruffy as of late in his driving style. Usually he's a lot better than that. The spin in Australia, Daniel Ricciardo incident, the Ferrari incident with Vettel. So it's just been a lot that's been compiling. So I guess that's we just wrap up our segment on Max Verstappen now. If you have anything to add to that, if you feel like we missed any major points with his driving, you feel like we were a little bit too hard with him, if you feel like Robert wants to throw him out of the sport, let us know.
If you feel that Mark changes his clothes way too often,
He
let
does.
us
He
know.
sure does change his clothes.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault that you guys go home and come back every day for us to record stuff and you come back with the same clothes.
Sorry. All right.
Please change up your wardrobe.
Well, that being said,
Mark works with his personal wardrobe.
hit like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, follow us on social media.
Challenge us in fantasy.
Yes,
Yeah.
reach out to us. Thank you.
Yeah, click, comment, write, whatever, say hi.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear
We want to hear.
feedback.
We want to hear what our fans think.
Fans of Formula One, we don't have fans.
Yes, we do have fans. I know for a fact that we have a fan in Guyana that's talking to us all the time,
That's true.
And our Caribbean fans, we want to hear what they think.
Yes.
or fans in general.
Thank you.
Folks in the UK, Australia.
Yep. Let us know what you think. Send us some comments. If you have our email address, you have all of our social media followings. Please follow us, send us some comments, and maybe throw us some topics for the purple
Future,
sector segments.
future purple sector segments.
All right. Thank you. With that being said, goodbye.
Thank you.